Welcome everybody, it's Kim from Inside My Money, and today I thought I would tackle one interesting concept which a lot of us will face, and that's when you've paid off a personal loan, which our characters Abby and Sam have done. How do you make sure that you save that money and don't just start spending up to that amount? So our characters here, they have been paying $1,000, let's just say around about $1,000 a month off the loan. They've done really well and gotten rid of it quite quickly. But now they've got $1,000 that should really be saved, but possibly is being spent. And this is the problem that we all face. If we don't decide at the day, preferably the day before you make that final payment, that you're going to save that money, it's very likely that we will all just start spending it. We'll relax, which is great. You want to relax, but then you relax a lot, and the money just goes through that leaky sieve, and you don't know where it's gone. And before you know it, your everyday lifestyle has just increased by $1,000 a month, and you'd find it really hard to start saving that because you've gotten used to it. So the best thing you can do is to immediately before is to reset your savings. And make sure that happens, because we all get tired. Self-discipline, we can all be as disciplined as possible, but we are going to just get into our normal lives, get tired, and not have that real discipline to make that happen. So let's just see what they've been doing. They've got an emergency fund. If we look at it over the last 90 days, then they've been saving $300 a month into that, which has been good. So they could actually increase that savings and increase it maybe up to 500, and they wouldn't even notice it. They're just reallocating the loan money towards savings. They're also saving for their first home, and they've been doing not too badly, but they've been saving $800 a month. So kudos to them for saving into paying off the loan quickly, saving into their emergency fund, and saving into their first home fund. So they've been doing quite a bit. So they can actually live on not a lot of money if they really knuckle down and try. So that's a good place to start. The other thing is maybe it's been going into the everyday account. So what we'll do is we'll go into reports this time, into balance, and we're going to have a look over a month, the last 90 days, use the little graph because that's much easier to see the picture. And yeah, they started out really well. They went from 3.8 to 5.1. So they saved a good portion of that money in month 1. In month 2, not so much. And then if we just take this in the last little while, they've come back down again. So what you don't really want to see is that trend coming right down to the point where they're now actually just spending all of their extra money. So what I potentially would have done if I was them is on the day before, I would have gone into my online banking and I would have changed my emergency fund savings and my house fund savings, but I would have done what's called pre-commitment. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know that I'm a big fan of pre-commitment. Financial, behavioral economics, behavioral finance, this is one of the biggest tools that you can use to help you save money, is to use pre-commitment. So I'll show you what this is through the scheduling side of HomeBank. Okay, so we're in their schedule of payments for the next month. So what they can do today is go into their online banking. They can go in, first one, let's go into the emergency fund, and they could increase that today to $500. And they could do that very easily. That'll be like a 2-minute job in their online banking. But the trick is that when you go into the schedule, what they could do is, instead of leaving that to just run indefinitely, while they're in their online banking at the same time, they're going to say, well, we're going to actually only save 500 for the next 6 months. So stop after 6 payments. And you say, well, what are you going to do after that, Kim? Now what you're going to do is, at the same time, you're going to create a second transfer, and it's going to be not for $500, but maybe for $600. and it's going to go from the everyday account to the emergency fund, and you just call it savings, whatever you call it, go add. This in the schedule is going to start in 6 months' time and run indefinitely. And then you're going to go and do the same thing again next year. So you've now got 2 savings amounts into the emergency fund. You've got one that you've just increased. I can find it again. And it's going to go out next month in the usual way, but it's going to be for 500. So automatically you're going to save another 200. And then in 6 months' time, it's going to change to be 600. And you've automatically increased your savings without even thinking about it. In March next year, they're going to completely forget about it, and all they're going to do is go, oh, that's right, we're now saving $600. Now they're going to go into their house fund while they're in their online banking. They're going to increase that to 1,000. Nothing too scary. And they're going to change that schedule to go from now for 6 posts, which is it's monthly, so it's 6 payments. Then they're going to create a new one for the house fund, and it's going to be a transfer. And now let's see if we can go up to 1,200 from the everyday account to the house fund. And again, it's savings, add, and then in the schedule, you're going to start it in 6 months' time and run it indefinitely. And then you're going to do the same process again next year. So if you do this twice a year, you will always be making sure that you're increasing your savings level every year without having to put in a lot of thought and a lot of effort. You're just going into your online banking, changing the amounts, setting up one that starts in 6 months' time, and you will automatically be increasing your savings. I hope that was helpful. If you've got any questions, just give us a yell. If there's other things that you would like us to have a look at, then please just let me know, and I'm happy to answer questions and put up other videos and things like that. So enjoy, and we'll see you again soon.